If you've been asking yourself if it's time to retire, or maybe you're even wondering, how do you really know when it's time to retire? Then this video may help you. I'm going to walk through 7 honest signs that showed up differently in different areas of my life. And these are not just the financial signs. These are mental signs, physical signs, signs related to time, identity signs, signs that you see at work. I worked in corporate America for 34 years. Now that I look back, these signs, they were there. I ignored them, and I don't want you to ignore them. I'm going to share with you some of my truth, some of my struggle. I'm going to share with you some things I tried. It didn't fix it. I'm running. So let's talk about these 7 signs that may be telling you that it's time to go, it's time to leave the workplace, it's time to retire, or it's time to do something different. The first sign shows up emotionally. You may initially have loved your job, had a lot of desire, a lot of passion for what you did, but over time, that spark, that drive, it just left. You were done. You were mentally exhausted these days. You were already thinking about the Sunday scaries and the Monday blues because the job had drained you. I remember starting out in my career, human resources, and I could not work hard enough. I was driven. I loved the work. But after 32 years of doing it, it just wasn't there anymore. And it didn't just leave like overnight. It was just a gradual. I remember sitting in the meetings, pretending to take notes, to be engaged. I was plotting out the date that I was going to be resigning. I was writing down my financial numbers to see if I had enough money to retire. I was planning my life about retiring. I wasn't fully there and fully engaged in the meetings. Another thing that I would do is with my vacation, I would tack on time just around the holidays to have that 4-day weekend so that I could be away from the office a little longer. I still dreaded going in after having those 4 days off. I was mentally done and mentally exhausted. The next sign, the physical signs. Your body will tell you sometimes before your mind tells you. If you are physically not feeling well, if you get sick more often, if you have chronic fatigue, if you have headaches, this is a health sign that you should not ignore. And I had mine. I had chronic insomnia for years because I could not turn off the work noise. Waking up in the middle of the night, thinking about the work and thinking about what I needed to do. That was a huge sign. Because once I retired, my insomnia, it did not correct itself overnight, but it did. After a few months, my sleep has drastically improved. And there's one other sign I had too related to health. I got really stiff in my pelvic area. And I think that was because I sat at my desk for so many hours. I'm talking about that pain where when I stood up, it ached. And I had to stand there for a couple of seconds just to stretch and warm everything out before I started walking for that pain to go away. And I remember one evening my husband got up and he made that sound, sound when you're getting up. And that's when I realized I had not made that sound in such a long time. My pelvic area, the pain I had, was no longer there. I don't even remember when the pain went away. Don't even remember. But I guess because I am moving throughout the day, I get up, I stretch, I move about, that pain is gone. This is one of those serious signals. Health is wealth, and we all know that. This is a sign where your body is telling you it might be time to go. The next signs. These are some signs that you may see in the workplace. When you first started out, you were pursuing the promotions, projects, stretch assignments. You were the one to raise your hand for the new initiative or new technology. You were one of those early adopters. And now you don't have that anymore. you really don't care about the next promotion. As a matter of fact, you're saying, please don't pick me for the project. Please don't pick me for the assignment. I took another job about 18 months before I left the workforce because I thought I was going to fix it. I thought maybe I need to do something different. New teammates didn't excite me. New bosses didn't excite me. I felt like been there, done that. There was nothing new that I felt that I was learning in the job. When you are nearing retirement and you secretly hope that someone would knock on the door and tell you that your position is being eliminated, so that will give you some relief and you could leave, that's a big sign. You are absolutely okay with them exiting you from the organization because you may not have been able to do it yourself. You may have been caught in one more year syndrome. And I knew it was a sign for me. There is an annual offsite. Everyone wants to go to this offsite. Only a select few are invited, and I was invited. And other people were congratulating me, and here I am. I did not want to go. Earlier, I would have been excited about the opportunity to go meet the senior leaders, talk about the new work that's on the horizon. I did not care about the new work that was on the horizon. I tried leaning into the aspects of the job that I enjoyed the most, thinking that would fix it. I tried changing up how I do my schedule. I tried mentoring people. It didn't work. It just didn't work. So if you are in that space where the things before may have excited you about the work, but they don't. You're not interested in the technology. You're not interested in projects. You're not interested in initiatives. And you want to kind of just stay under the radar. Do what you need to do, not trying to be that superstar achiever. That may be a sign in the workplace that you should not ignore. The financial sign, and some people get stuck on this one. You've run the numbers, you've done the budget, you know you have enough. I identified the number that it would take for me to retire. I hit that number 4 years prior. I ran the math. I did the analytics. I ran those numbers every which way that you could run the numbers. I even met with a certified financial planner, told us that I was working because I wanted to, not because I had to. There are some people that look at their 401k balances once a week. I looked at mine every day. I was watching those numbers. I wanted to make sure that the numbers were there and that they stayed there so that financially I could go. And I'm not even 59 and a half. If you're at that point where you're checking the numbers, you're looking at them every day, you're rerunning the numbers, you're doing the analysis, that might be a sign that you are ready to go. For some, money may be the barrier, but for others, when you've met your goal and you have your numbers, it may be time to consider what is holding you back. This next one was big for me. I call this one the identity sign. Are you dreaming about your next stage? Are you thinking about what you want to do? Who do you want to be in this second phase of life? I daydreamed about that all the time. I mentioned earlier, I was in those meetings. Not only was I running the numbers, but I was mapping out, what is it that I want to do? What hobbies do I want to do? What passions do I want to pursue? What volunteering do I want to do? I was obsessed thinking about all the amazing things that I wanted to do in retirement. So much so that I really had to make sure I was focusing on the job. And I had started reading about this philosophy of quietly quitting. And I think I was getting there. I think I was justifying myself to say, I'm just going to stay right under this radar because there's so many other things that I wanted to do. During lunch, if I did take a lunch, I was planning my escape. I was planning what I was going to be doing. I was looking up hobbies. I was looking at YouTube to see what retirees were doing. I wanted to be in a position to have my freedom, to have fun. I wanted to be like a kid growing up again, trying to figure out all of the things that you want to do, you want to see, and you want to be. I had been the HR person for 32 years, and now all of my goals and all of my dreams were shifting to who do I want to be now? That was a sign for me that I was leaning more towards who I want to become than the identity of who I had been for the last 32 years. The next sign is what I call time awareness. I began to think about how much time do I have left and what do I want to do with the time that I have left. I understood about the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. I learned about you have a health span and a lifespan, and those are not the same. And a year before I retired, one of my direct reports, she was 56 years old, and she passed away young, and she's gone. And then a couple of months before I retired, my mom passed away unexpectedly. And my mom is what we called the Energizer Bunny. She was 81 years old. We thought she'd live to be 100. And all of that just got me to thinking, how many summers do I have left? How can I take advantage of some of my most vibrant years that I have? That clock is ticking, and I wanted to make sure I am young and vibrant for those go-go years. I am seeing time just go by in a flash. My weeks just started blending into each other, like Groundhog Week, the same week over and over again. And at a certain point, is it more money or more time? You can make more money, but you can't get more time. And I wanted to make the most out of my youthful, vibrant go-go years. And I was getting angry of letting the job rob me of those years when I didn't have to. Time awareness. That one's tricky, but it's a sign. And I'm going to call this last one kind of the big tail sign. This is that sign when you realize staying longer won't change anything. It won't change a thing. And you probably thought about this. If I stay one more year, if I stay to help the team, if I stay to help get this project done, this initiative done, if I stay for the next bonus, dollars that you may never spend, they'll be fine without you to do the project, to do the initiative. Staying longer won't change anything except for one thing. It robs you of some of your go-go youthful years that you can't get back. It robs you of time to spend with family and friends. It robs you, if you have grandkids, of seeing those grandkids' milestone moments. It robs you of volunteering. It robs you of pursuing passions and dreams. You may have a groundhog year. You stay, you feel the same, everything's the same. You look around, 1 year's gone by, and nothing has changed. No drive, no spark, no desire. You're exhausted, but yet you are still there. If you're thinking about retirement, on the fence about retirement, and if you have all of these signs like I do, if you are looking at these independently, look at them in totality. Financially, mentally, physically, look at them through the lens of time and your identity. Don't ignore the signs. They may be telling you that it is time for you to pursue your passions or time for you to do something different. Those are the signs that told me it was time for me to go and exit the workforce. Let me know in the comments if there's a sign that you had that I did not mention. Let us know. Others on the journey, it may help them. I'm Ronnie, and I promise to keep it real.